Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zaks Traders Cafe for Monday, the 2nd of October. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which followed on from that rather bleak candle, Gravestone Joji, on Friday, with a break so far of the rising trend line there from last month. Want to stay above basically 75.80 on an end-of-day close basis. There is some support, obviously, at the 50-day line, 75.30 there, but below that, really, we're not looking good at all, and probably prepared for a test of the September support area around 73.75. In the unlikely event that we get an end-of-day close back above the 200-day line, 76.40, then it could be up towards the main February resistance line, 77.40. But at this stage, it looks as though we are struggling to hold above that August line. On to the DAX, which I presume will be equally bleak, but here the gap higher on Friday and then failed, and then it's now a matter of really holding that May support line there around 15,100. If we can do that, then the range, top of the range, could be up to 15,800, and the 50-day line, which has been the resistance quite remarkably, actually consistently over the last month or two. But at the moment, probably looking for this market to roll over rather than rebound. Moving on to the Dow, and here, tough situation as well. The situation really fader at the 200-day line, 33,800. Below that, looking for the risk of a test of the old May support area, 32,600. So if you thought that after peaking out in July, with that could be the low for the market, looks as though October may give a little bit more on the downside before we manage to recover. I suppose the other plus point, or a plus point, is that the RSI is now at the 30 level, so that may stem losses over the near term. Moving on to Bitcoin, where we're hoping for a change of fortune and sentiment, and it looks like we've got it with a break of that resistance line there from July. Broken above the 50-day line last week at 26,800, and then broke the July resistance line there, 27,300, and in fact, now looking for a break above the 200-day moving average at 28,000. If we can get that, then we should see 30,000 pretty smartly over the course of the rest of October, maybe even the first part of October. Big picture target on the upside would be a move towards that resistance line there from back in March, as high as 34,000, which seems like pie in the sky at the moment, but it's not as if we haven't been consolidating over the post-July period, so plenty of consolidation there, and above that 50-day line looking quite decent. On to the stocks, and rather strange selection. It's always a bit strange, but particularly strange today. We've got Corero, and here not much on the chart there apart from a break of that resistance line there from the beginning of the year above the 200-day moving average, which we've gapped up through at 7 pence. We're looking for this market to hit the top of that rising trend channel from the end of last year as high as 11.5 pence, maybe by the end of November. So a bit of a slower one there than we normally have here. But the key here is holding 7 pence and the 200-day moving average. Onto stock, which is another unlikely recovery situation, and it comes in the form of Capital Metals. Here we've seen what we like seeing, which is a sideways shuffle above a rising 50-day moving average. We've had the breakout on Friday through 1.3 pence. The initial target here was rather unlikely 1.7 pence, but really now we're going for the floor of that gap down from June at 2.2 pence as soon as the end of this month. So it's a long turnaround, and then hopefully a quicker push up to fill that gap around 2.2 pence. Upside value while we hold above 1.25 pence, which was the midweek support last week. Onto a situation which has come up with the goods for the charting, and that's Gulf Keystone. We saw the break of that resistance line, and I don't normally look at these larger cap companies. Break of the resistance line there from back in August, and the 50-day moving average at 105. A little bit of jiggery pokery, but the shares remained above £1 and have spiked up today. We were looking for up to £1.32. And I think the high today was 132, so I think almost exactly touched that line, maybe slightly underneath it. But basically the view now is that if we can get an end of day close above the August resistance around 127, we could head up to the 200-day moving average as high as 149 pence by the end of this month. The key here really is holding above the low 120s, which was resistance on the way down. Moving along to it was almost like a twin stock with a Gulf Keystone. We've got the position at Genel, and here we've broken through the 50-day line around 87 pence. Above that, we're looking for as high as £1.10 at the top of that rising trend channel base from the end of June. So let's see if Genel will come up with the goods by the end of this month. Onto a stock which may be rather more risky, but some bottom sort of base building here over the last few months. 0.08 seems to be the magic number there, and above that we're looking for 0.12 by the end of the month if we get another zigzag within this post-June range, which has basically been between 0.08 and 0.14. Next situation is a stock which I think I covered yesterday over the weekend, but here it is. Can't get too much of a good thing. Insig Ai, and we followed through on Friday's rally. Initial target here 27 pence, and after that looking for as high as 34 pence by the end of this month, while we remain above 22 pence, which was the late September resistance. Onto mobile streams, where there's been not one but two V-shaped bull flags over the recent past. Here you'll see them. Here we had that first one earlier in September, and then a second one to start October. Want to see proper clearance of the recent resistance around 0.11. Above that, looking for up to 0.18 by the end of next month, or maybe even sooner than that. We've got consolidation above a rising 50-day line, which is normally a good thing, as I've said earlier in this video. On to Orcadian, which they've got quite a soft spot for at the moment. The reason for the coverage today is that shares are actually up after a fundraise, I think 350 grand. The view here is at above 13 pence, and the initial target here for the shares from March, we're looking for up to 25 pence by the end of next month, i.e. by the end of November. Good reappearance now for Ondo, and here the reason for the reappearance is that we look to have broken a line of resistance there from back in August at 26 pence. Above that, the initial target here 30 pence, hopefully over the next week or so. Big picture target maybe by the end of next month, could be as high as 40 pence plus at the top of that rising trend channel from back in May. Next situation is one which is a I sort of cover it from time to time, but today it's had a decent jump. Scirocco, and here you can see an unfilled gap through a rising 50-day line. That just gives us the view that above the floor of this trend channel there from February at 0.37, we could head up to as high as 0.77 by the end of next month. 50 and 200-day lines rising, so feeling quite confident there. Good news today for Tekcapital by Microsalt, and here we've broken out of that bull flag, extended bull flag. I suppose that it counts as a sideways shuffle above the rising 50-day line. Initial target here towards 14.5 pence, but by the end of next month we expect the shares to be as high as 20 pence, while they remain above 12. On to Tertiary Minerals, which I think I looked at yesterday as well. Here we've got this complicated mid-move consolidation above a rising 50-day moving average. Still looking for 0.22, perhaps as soon as the end of this month, after the maybe third time attempt to get through 0.15 on a sustained basis. ValiRx is next, and here we look to have broken out of this extended falling wedge that's been in place since the beginning of the summer. Also broken the 50-day line at 6.45 pence. Initial target here probably towards the 200-day line at 9 pence, maybe by the end of this month. Big picture target up to 10 pence, which is the top of a broadening triangle from back in May. On to the last two. First one is Vast, which has given a nice gap close, bear trap, buy close signal there. Gap close signal above the 50-day line at 0.28, looking for up to 0.45 by the end of the month after that bear trap effect, which looks quite encouraging, especially given the way that the 200-day line is also rising at the moment. Finishing off with Zanaga, which I think I looked at yesterday as well. I can't remember that far back, but had to cover the stock on the basis of the unfilled gap to the upside off the lows and through the 50-day line, and that's worked. The shares are up 28%. We were looking for up to 8 3/4 pence by the end of this month, and hopefully we'll get it as soon as the end of this week. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.